Round 2, baby. Ding, ding, ding.
Remember in my last video I asked you guys a question, are Maddy and Cassie actually friends again, or is this all a massive trap? Well, I thought about it, and honestly, it's neither. Here is the deal. You've got two girls who used to be ride or die besties. Now they are just sitting across the table, smiling at each other, but behind those smiles, they are running two totally different secret agendas. But here is the craziest part. Only one of them knows what is really going on. The other one is so delusional she's literally picking out wedding flowers. Let me prove it to you. We are going to break this down scene by scene, starting with that crazy lunch. Everyone watched this lunch scene and thought, a sweet reunion. Guys, it totally wasn't. Cassie walked in needing exactly two things, forgiveness and a favor, and she smashed them into one conversation. That tells you everything about where her head is at. In Cassie's brain, please forgive me and please help me are the exactly same thing. If Maddy helps her, Maddy forgives her. Cassie didn't show up for a cute lunch. She showed up for Maddy's permission to stop feeling like a terrible person. But now, watch exactly what Maddy does the second Cassie sits down. She forgives her instantly. Two words, I forgive you. No dramatic pause, no heavy emotions. Let me tell you that is not the Maddy being the bigger person. That is Maddy setting a trap. She made the massive betrayal seem like no big deal. On purpose. Why? Because Maddy doesn't want Cassie feeling guilty. She wants Cassie feeling safe. Because a guilty person hides things, but a safe person spills all their secrets. By the time they asked for the check, Maddy knew everything. She knew about the OnlyFans idea. She knew the exact type of content. She knew Nate's strict rule, keep it off your main page. Most importantly, she knew exactly how desperate Cassie was for someone to just tell her it was a good idea. And Maddy didn't have to interrogate her to get this. She just made Cassie feel comfortable. That is not friendship, guys, but from outside, it looks exactly like it. Now let's look at exactly how Maddy played this. Right off the bat, Maddy is doing impression. She's already having fun and putting on a show before Cassie even says anything serious. She wasn't reacting to Cassie's vibe. Maddy was already in character, and Cassie, someone who literally makes a living reading a room, completely missed the performance. Then Maddy asked the million-dollar question.
Define huge.
Like, when I throw a pool party, I am the center of the attention. You should see how upset these wives get with their husbands.
Well, that's because out there you're a big fish in a small pond.
But what if I was a big fish in a big pond?
The market's just oversaturated with a lot of girls like you.
The market is super saturated right now. What makes you different? Cassie, answer, I'm pretty. Maddy says nothing because Maddy knows that being pretty on internet is the easiest thing in the world to replace. She's literally watching Cassie build a house of cards. So is Maddy warning her, or is she just realizing that Cassie is going to need her way more than she needs Cassie? Honestly, it's both. That is the genius of her move. Then Cassie finally admits it out loud. This is why I am here. She admits she came for business advice, not just to say sorry. The second she says that, Maddy has the whole picture. She knows what Cassie wants, she knows how to give it to her, and she knows exactly how much it's going to cost Cassie in the end. So what does Maddy say? Let's have some fun. 4 little words and Maddy instantly says yes. Because in Cassie's brain, if someone is helping you, it means they like you. She didn't read between the lines. She just felt the warmth and walked right in. Look, everybody watching this show loves to call Cassie dumb. But give me 60 seconds to tell you why they are completely wrong and why missing this changes everything. Cassie isn't stupid. She has just spent her entire life running on one very specific survival mode. Let the room decide who I am. And honestly, she's a genius at it. She can walk into a room and figure out exactly what people want from her, faster than anyone else on the show. She instantly morphs into whatever version of Cassie makes everyone else happy. But here is the tragic part. That superpower, it wasn't built for her. It was built to keep everyone else comfortable, completely at her own expense. Think about it. Nate gave her a set of rules. You can do this, just keep it off your main page. Maddy gave her a totally different vibe. You look amazing, let's have some fun. And what did Cassie do? She walked right into both of those traps and asked herself the exact same question. She always asks, what do they need me to be right now? She has literally never asked herself, what do I actually want? Not even once. Guys, that is not a dumb girl. That is a girl who was never taught that her own feelings actually matter. Now this brings us to the neighbor scene. Cassie and Nate live together. It's their house and their party. Their guest. And out of nowhere, Cassie pulls out a nude photo and shows it to a woman sitting right next to her. Everyone watching is thinking, why would she do that? She wasn't showing off, she was running a test. Cassie Howard cannot make a decision and sit inside it alone. She never has. She needs a room to react before she can decide how she herself feels. That neighbor is not a victim of bad judgment. That neighbor is a focus group. Cassie watched that woman's face, waiting for it to tell her what face she should be wearing. That is not dumb. That is the only system she knows. But here is the part nobody is saying. She didn't show a stranger, she showed their neighbor at their party inside their world. On some level, conscious or not, she chose person most likely to get back to the one person who controls her life. She didn't break a rule by accident. She tested the rule in the room where it mattered most, and she didn't even realize she was doing it. Let's track exactly how this played out. The neighbor tells her husband. The husband tells Nate. Her most private decision had to travel through 3 different people just to get to the one guy who actually gets to decide what it means. Cassie showed one person. She genuinely thought it would just stay between them. But in Nate's world, nothing stays between two people. Every secret, every conversation, it all circulates right back to him. She didn't realize she was living inside a surveillance system. She thought she was just in a relationship. There is a massive difference between the two. But nobody has ever shown Cassie what the difference actually looks like. So Nate finds out. He makes her delete the account. And then he instantly offers her $50,000 for their wedding flowers. The whole internet watched this and said, Nate is just controlling her with the money. They are only half right. Here is what actually happening. Nate isn't paying her to shut down the OnlyFans. He is paying her to become the version of herself who agrees that shutting it down was a good idea. Those flowers aren't a bribe, they are a storyline. Now Cassie has something she can say out loud. We are getting 50 grand worth of flowers at our wedding. That sentence completely replaces the reality of what just happened. Cassie has always needed a story the room will approve of. So she takes the deal. Nate didn't buy her silence, he bought her an excuse. And to Cassie, an excuse she can say out loud is worth way more than anything she built on her own. But here is the massive catch. Those videos were already posted before this negotiation even happened. The account was already running before he knew it existed. Maddy's system was already live. Nate thinks he won. He thinks he just closed a browser tab and fixed the problem. But he only shut down the public version. The private damage is already built, and he has absolutely no idea yet. Let's move into the bedroom scene, line by line. First, Nate says, I don't want lies and secrets, I grew up in that. Guys, Nate Jacob has built his entire life on lying, controlling people and hiding his tracks. And now he is begging Cassie for transparency. But here is the crazy part, he isn't just being a hypocrite. He actually means it. He desperately wants one single part of his life to be clean. And he picked Cassie because he assumed she'd be easy to control. Then we get this exchange.
Maddy's been helping me.
My Maddy?
No, my Maddy.
Listen to that. 2 words. My Maddy. This is a girl who apologized before she even finishes a sentence. She needs a focus group just to know if she has a good taste. But the second Nate tries to claim ownership over Maddy, Cassie claims her back. She didn't say it to start a fight. She said it because she truly believed it. For Cassie Howard to just believe something without checking if everyone else approves first, that is literally the most radical thing she has done in the 3 entire seasons. Then Nate hits her with, well, your career is over now. Notice how he doesn't say I'm ending it. He says it like it's a fact. Past tense, already done. Cassie built this whole thing. She sat with Maddy, she ran her little test. She did the work and Nate sussed the whole thing in 5 words, without even blinking. Like it cost him absolutely nothing, because to him it did. In his mind, Cassie's thing are just things he's allowed to break. And then Cassie delivers the fatal blow. I hate to break it to you, but not everyone is in love with you. This is the only second time in 3 seasons Cassie has spoken completely for herself. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't soften the blow. Nate grew up in a house where everything is a manipulation, so when he sees Maddy involved, he assumes Maddy is playing a game against him. But Cassie looks him dead in the eye and tells him the truth. Not everyone is obsessed with you, not everyone operates like you do. She says it like someone who is finally waking up to the reality of the world she's been trapped inside. Well, here's one thing that I have noticed. Nate said 5 words, your career is over now. But if you look at the trailer completely disagrees. We see Maddy taking Cassie's picture. She isn't just hanging out. She isn't just filming for fun. She is framing the shot. Guys, that is a working session. So one of the 2 things is happening here. Either Cassie's content never actually got deleted and just moved somewhere Nate can't see it, or it stopped and then something major happened to make it restart. Either way, Nate just closed the browser tab. He didn't shut down the whole system. And the system Maddy built, it does not need Nate Jacobs' permission to run. Which brings us to the very end of the trailer, the wedding. Cassie is standing there in the dress and she looks absolutely terrified. Now, if you watch HBO, you know how this works. Euphoria is a show about people trapped in system they didn't build. And on this network, those systems never end with a polite conversation. They end with a wedding. We have seen the red wedding, we have seen the purple wedding. HBO doesn't do I do, HBO does how could you. Nate Jacobs is planning his perfect wedding right now. He thinks the career is dead, he thinks Maddy is just a ghost, he thinks he literally bought his piece with 50 grand in flowers. But Cassie is at that altar, she knows the truth, so here are the 3 ways this ends. Theory 1. The content is still live. Maddy's system is running in the background. Cassie realizes she finally has somewhere else to go, and for the first time in her life, she walks away to her version of reality, not Nate's. Theory 2. The picture surfaced at the wedding right in front of his people, that exact same gossip chain that went from neighbor to husband to Nate. This time it travels to the one place he can't control and it completely incinerates his perfect image. Theory 3. Sam Levinson special. We get complete cinematic trauma, not a celebration but a scene. Nate said the career is over, but Cassie is standing in a dress he bought with exact autonomy she just traded away. So what is the verdict? Does Nate fold after the vows? Does Cassie walks before the ceremony even starts? Or does Sam Levinson give us a wedding where absolutely nobody walks away clean? Drop your theory in the comments right now. I read every single one and see you in the next one.